Imagine your aircraft has been shot, you have ejected, and from the fires of the ejection, your clothes have caught fire, and from that fire, your beard is burning, and slowly the fire has engulfed your overalls. From that fire, the parachute that you're using to come down to back to the ground is starting to catch fire. It gets entangled around you, and you crash onto the ground. You break your legs, and you land beside your destroyed, burning fighter jet that still has rockets and bombs inside, and you don't even know in which country you are. What do you think you are going to do? This video is dedicated to Group Captain Gurdeep Singh Samra, MiD, for his services in the 1971 war on the Western Front. Group Captain Gurdeep Singh Samra was commissioned in the Indian Air Force on the 1st of August 1964 after completing the 89-90 pilot's course. He was commissioned as a pilot officer, and by the year 1971, he was serving as a flight lieutenant in the 101 Squadron of the Indian Air Force. The 101 Squadron is popularly known as the Falcons, and in the year 1971, it was armed with Sukhoi 7 aircrafts. Flight Lieutenant Gurdeep Singh Samra was an expert Sukhoi 7 fighter pilot, and he was serving the squadron at the Adampur Air Base. When war broke out with Pakistan on the 3rd of December 1971, Adampur Air Base was subjected to massive Pakistani air raids, and by the first light of the 4th of December, the Indian Air Force decided to retaliate. At 4 a.m. on the morning of the 4th of December, Flight Lieutenant Gurdeep Singh Samra went for his first briefing. Here, he was ordered to destroy Pakistani tanks in the Chhamb area. At 9:15 a.m., he took off in his Sukhoi 7 aircraft, and he approached the Chhamb area, spotting the Pakistani tanks. He opened fire on the tanks with his 57mm rockets, destroying some of the armor, but unfortunately, Pakistani anti-aircraft guns spotted him. They opened fire on his aircraft. The red light in his cockpit started booming. He was hit. Eventually, he informed about this back to base, and trying to wrestle with the controls, he noticed that his engine was dead. He tried to glide back his Sukhoi 7 back towards India, but he was also losing height and fuel. At that time, he was continuously trying to make a mayday call back, but it was just not going through. Slowly coming down and gliding, eventually he started losing more altitude, and he noticed that very soon he was going to be at treetops level. Seeing this, he knew that there was nothing more to do. If he waited for much longer inside his aircraft, he would have to go down with his aircraft. So he ejected. It was exactly 10 a.m. when he had ejected. When he had ejected, the aircraft immediately crashed down onto the ground and had exploded in a massive ball of fire. But even his ejection was at a very low height. So when he was coming down, his overalls, his combat fighter pilot overalls had caught fire. The fire was so much that his beard had started to burn. He was holding his ropes as he was coming down from the ejection and using the parachute, but the fire started engulfing the parachute. Eventually the rope started getting entangled around him, and he crashed to the ground. He didn't even have time to get his legs in proper position and brace for the landing. He almost landed very close to the aircraft, and in the process of this hard landing, he broke his legs. For this reason, screaming in pain and agony, he noticed more explosions happening around him. These were from the bombs and rockets that were still inside his burning Sukhoi 7 aircraft. He started crawling away, moving towards the trees in the nearby area, and he still didn't have any idea where he was. So the first thing he did after getting far away from the aircraft was to get his combat overalls off from him, and he chopped off his beard with his scissors. He remembered that he had some Pakistani currency with him. If at all he was in Pakistan, he would need them, but his legs were broken. Fortunately, after waiting for some time, he noticed that a village jeep was coming close. He still didn't know who these people were. He saw a soldier come down, and he asked for his documents and maps. He still didn't know whether this was an Indian or a Pakistani, so he had to give them up. He was irritated that this group of soldiers that were there, they didn't try to help him. Hence, he asked who these people were. The soldier who was checking the documents and the maps said that he was an Indian captain. He said that his name was Captain Appaya, and he was from the Indian Army. Hearing this, Flight Lieutenant Gurdeep Singh Samra was relieved. He was picked up on the village jeep, and he was taken to a nearby bunker. But he noticed that he was still not far away from the battlefield. A tank was pretty close nearby, and it was firing on enemy tanks far away in the distance. He was taken inside the bunker, where a medical orderly tried to treat him. After this, he was evacuated to Joria, to a field hospital, where his leg was plastered under much agony. On the 5th of December, the 101 Squadron was still hoping for some news from Flight Lieutenant Gurdeep Singh Samra, but he was declared as missing in action, as there was no information about his whereabouts. But after his initial treatment, he was taken to Udhampur hospital while even being carried away on a stretcher. A Pakistani MiG-19 aircraft from the sky came down strafing. Yet he survived that. Not a single shot touched him. From Udhampur, he was taken to the SAINIK hospital in Delhi. His legs were broken and he had to rest for the next 3 months. Eventually, he was deemed fit for flying in 1973. For such exceptional services and such an exceptional feat of survival, he was awarded the Mention in Dispatches. He later went back to service and he retired from the Indian Air Force as Group Captain. For more such incredible stories like this, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. Thank you.